Sit comfortably while listening. Do not try to agree. Do not try to disagree. Just listen, as if you were listening to rain. A question often arises in the human mind again and again in different forms. The form changes, but the hunger behind it remains the same. Someone asks, "Where do you stand? Which side are you on? Are you this or are you that?" The mind feels uneasy without a label. It wants to pin things down, define them, trap them into words. Because once something is labeled, the mind can relax. Once labeled, it no longer needs to look. But truth does not belong to any label. If existence itself had an ideology, then perhaps one could belong to it. But existence has no party, no manifesto, no doctrine. The sky is not capitalist or communist. The river is not religious or political. The sun does not rise according to any scripture. Existence simply is. And the moment you ask whether someone belongs to an ideology, you are already asking the wrong question. Because the deeper question is not, "What do you believe?" The deeper question is, "Are you free enough to see without belief?" Many people confuse compassion with ideology. They think that if you wish well for all, you must belong to a certain doctrine. If you speak of equality, they assume you must be aligned with a system. If you criticize injustice, they think you must be promoting another structure. But compassion is not an ideology. It is a sensitivity of the heart. To wish that no one suffers unnecessarily is not a political stance. It is simply human. If someone feels the pain of others as their own, they will naturally speak against cruelty, no matter which system produces it. If someone sees clearly, they will criticize exploitation, whether it comes wearing the mask of wealth or the mask of equality. Truth does not take sides. It cuts through all sides. And this is where misunderstanding begins. People are accustomed to camps. They are trained to think in terms of for and against. If you speak against one camp, they immediately assume you belong to the opposite camp. This is childish logic. If a person speaks against darkness, it does not mean they are campaigning for light. Light does not need campaigns. Darkness disappears the moment light is present. But the human mind is addicted to camps because camps give security. Belonging gives identity. Identity gives the illusion of strength. Yet this strength is borrowed. The moment you say, "This is my belief," you have stopped searching. The moment you say, "This is my ideology," you have traded freedom for comfort. And comfort is always the enemy of truth, because truth is not comfortable. Truth is alive, moving, unpredictable. Belief is dead, fixed, safe. The mind prefers the dead because the dead does not disturb. That is why ideologies feel attractive. They promise certainty. They promise answers in advance. But life does not respect answers prepared in advance. Every moment is new, every situation is fresh, and a borrowed answer will always be late. A person who lives through ideology lives through memory. They do not respond, they react. They react according to what they have been taught, according to what they have inherited, according to what their group approves. This is not living, this is repeating. And repetition slowly kills intelligence. True intelligence is fluid. It does not belong to any camp. It moves with facts, not with doctrines. Where something is harmful, it says so. Where something is helpful, it acknowledges it. Not because a book says so, but because awareness sees so. That is why a deeply aware person appears contradictory. One day they may speak against one system. Another day they may speak against its opposite. People become confused. They want consistency. They want predictable positions. But consistency is a demand of fear, not of truth. Truth is not consistent. It is coherent, but coherence is not rigidity. Coherence means responding freshly each time, not repeating the same answer everywhere. If you always give the same answer, it only proves you are not listening, and listening is the beginning of wisdom. Ideologies are deaf. They already know what they will say before you finish speaking. A person without ideology listens first. They respond later, or sometimes not at all, because sometimes silence is the most accurate response. Belief systems are prisons that feel like homes. They are decorated cages. They give you a sense of belonging, but they take away your eyes. The moment you belong to an ideology, you stop seeing facts clearly. You start seeing through filters, and filters distort reality. This is why two people can witness the same event and interpret it in completely opposite ways, not because the event is unclear, but because their minds are already decided. Their conclusion comes before their observation. This is the danger of belief. A mind filled with belief cannot encounter truth. It can only compare. And truth is not something to be compared. It is something to be encountered. That is why freedom from ideology is not a political statement. It is a spiritual necessity. As long as you belong to something, you cannot belong to life. As long as you cling to a system, you cannot flow with existence. And existence only reveals itself to those who flow. This does not mean withdrawal. This does not mean indifference. On the contrary, a person without ideology becomes deeply involved, but without attachment. They act, but they are not imprisoned by their actions. They speak, but they are not enslaved by their words. They remain available to correction. They remain open to learning. This openness is dangerous to rigid societies, because open people cannot be controlled easily. You cannot predict them. You cannot manipulate them through slogans. That is why societies prefer believers over thinkers. Believers are obedient. Thinkers are inconvenient. But life belongs to thinkers, or rather to those who think and then drop thinking when needed. The ultimate intelligence is not thinking, it is awareness. Awareness sees without ideology. Awareness acts without doctrine. Awareness loves without conditions. And awareness alone can touch truth. Before we move deeper, before meditation, before inner practices, before any technique, one thing must be clear. If you are carrying beliefs, they will interfere. If you are holding conclusions, they will block the path. The first step is not learning something new. The first step is unlearning. Unlearning labels, unlearning loyalties, unlearning borrowed certainty. Not to become empty in a negative sense, but to become available. Like a clean mirror, like a silent lake. Only then can reality reflect itself without distortion. This is the foundation. Without this, everything else becomes another belief, another ideology disguised as spirituality. And spirituality, reduced to ideology, is the most dangerous prison of all. So for now, just notice. Where do you cling? Where do you already know? Where do you feel offended, defensive, resistant? Those reactions are clues. They show where freedom has not yet entered. We will not fight them. We will simply observe. And observation itself begins the melting. Stay as you are. Let the body remain still. Let the listening deepen. It is important to understand why belief feels so attractive. Without understanding this, dropping belief will feel like violence. Belief gives comfort because belief removes responsibility. The moment you say, "This is my belief," you are no longer required to look again. You are no longer responsible for seeing reality directly. You can always hide behind the belief. If something goes wrong, the belief is never questioned. Reality is blamed. This is how belief protects the ego. The ego survives on certainty. It cannot live in doubt. Doubt is dangerous to the ego because doubt opens the door to humility, and humility dissolves the ego. Belief closes the door. That is why belief systems are always confident, even when they are wrong. A believer is never uncertain. They may be confused, but they are never open. Confusion is still movement within the same walls. Openness means stepping outside, and stepping outside feels like death to the ego. So the ego clings. It clings to ideas, identities, nations, religions, philosophies, even spiritual paths. Anything that says, this is who you are. But truth never tells you who you are. Truth removes what you are not. This is uncomfortable. Comfort comes from accumulation. Truth comes from subtraction. Belief adds. Awareness removes. Belief says, learn this. Awareness says, drop this. That is why belief feels productive and awareness feels empty in the beginning. But this emptiness is not loss, it is space. And without space, nothing real can grow. A crowded mind cannot receive insight. It can only rearrange old furniture. People are afraid of emptiness because they equate emptiness with meaninglessness. But emptiness is not meaningless. Emptiness is fertile. The womb is empty before creation. Silence is empty before music. Yet the mind fears emptiness because emptiness offers no identity. In emptiness, you cannot say, I am this. You can only say, I am. And even that becomes unnecessary. Belief gives identity. Identity gives importance. And importance is addictive. This is why even suffering identities are held tightly. A person would rather suffer as someone than dissolve into nobody. But freedom begins where nobodiness begins. When there is no image to protect, no belief to defend, no position to maintain, suddenly a great relaxation happens. Life is no longer a battlefield. Belief creates enemies. Awareness dissolves them. Notice this carefully. Every belief needs an opposite. Without an enemy, belief cannot survive. A religion needs another religion. An ideology needs an opposing ideology. A philosophy needs something to argue against. Belief lives on conflict. Truth does not. Truth does not need to convince anyone. Truth does not argue. Truth simply is. That is why truth often appears weak. It does not shout. It does not recruit. It waits. It waits for intelligence to mature. Believers are loud because they are afraid. They need numbers. They need agreement. Truth is silent because it has no fear of being alone. A single candle is enough to expose darkness. Darkness needs crowds. When you drop belief, something strange happens. At first, you feel lost, disoriented. This is natural. You have been walking with borrowed maps for so long that when the maps are taken away, you panic. But life is not a map. Life is a terrain, and terrain must be walked, not believed. Those who insist on maps never touch the earth directly. They walk on paper. Dropping belief is not about becoming ignorant. It is about becoming innocent. Innocence is intelligence without prejudice. A child looks without conclusion. That is why children learn so fast. They don't know what they are supposed to see. Belief kills this innocence. It tells you in advance what is true, what is false, what is sacred, what is wrong. And once told, you stop looking. This is why deeply conditioned people rarely change. Their eyes are closed by answers. A person who lives without belief lives dangerously, not recklessly, but authentically. They cannot be controlled by fear, because fear needs belief. Fear says, if you don't follow this, something terrible will happen. But a person who sees directly does not respond to threats. They respond to facts, and facts are always present, not promised. Belief operates in the future. Awareness operates now. Belief says, trust me, later. Awareness says, look, now. This is why belief is postponement. Awareness is immediacy. And life happens only in immediacy. If you live through belief, you are always waiting. Waiting for salvation, waiting for success, waiting for peace. But peace is not something that comes later. It is something that appears when waiting stops. Dropping belief does not mean you will suddenly know everything. On the contrary, you will know that you don't know. And this knowing of not knowing is the door. A mind that admits I don't know becomes curious. Curiosity opens perception. Perception opens understanding. Belief closes curiosity. That is why believers repeat, and aware people explore. Repetition feels safe. Exploration feels alive. Life favors the alive. If you listen carefully, you will notice. Whenever you defend an idea emotionally, whenever criticism feels like an attack, whenever disagreement creates anger, there is belief. And where there is belief, there is fear. Fear of losing identity, fear of being wrong, fear of uncertainty. But uncertainty is not chaos. Uncertainty is openness, and openness is the doorway to truth. This is why the first movement of any inner journey is not meditation, not discipline, not practice. It is courage. The courage to stand without belief. The courage to say, I don't know. The courage to see without conclusion. Without this courage, meditation becomes ritual. Silence becomes escape. Spirituality becomes decoration. But with this courage, even ordinary life becomes meditation. Walking becomes inquiry. Listening becomes awareness. Breathing becomes prayer. We are laying the ground now. If the ground is not clear, whatever you build will collapse. So don't hurry. Just notice. Where do you seek comfort in certainty? Where do you resist doubt? Where does not knowing make you uncomfortable? These are not problems, they are doorways. We are not here to fix them, we are here to see them. Seeing is enough. Transformation follows seeing the way a shadow follows the body. Remain still. Let the words come to you. Do not chase them. Once belief begins to loosen, a subtle fear arises. Not fear of something specific, but fear of being without support. Belief is a psychological support system. It is like a crutch. A crutch helps when the leg is injured, but if you never drop it, the leg never heals. Humanity has been walking on crutches for centuries, religious crutches, ideological crutches, spiritual crutches. They give the feeling of stability, but they prevent strength. To stand without belief is to stand alone, and aloneness frightens the mind, because the mind has been taught that aloneness means loneliness. This is a misunderstanding. Loneliness is the absence of others. Aloneness is the presence of oneself. Loneliness is painful. Aloneness is rich. But because most people have never been introduced to themselves, aloneness feels like emptiness. They rush to fill it. They fill it with relationships, roles, beliefs, identities, anything to avoid being alone with themselves. But truth requires aloneness, not isolation, aloneness. A tree stands alone, yet it is connected to the whole earth. A star is alone, yet part of the cosmos. In the same way, a human being must stand alone inwardly to belong to existence totally. Belief prevents this standing. It leans you on borrowed authority. Someone else has seen, someone else has known, someone else has declared, and you are told to trust. Trust is not the same as truth. Trust can be blind. Truth cannot be. To live truthfully, you must risk being unsupported. This is why awakening is not for the cowardly. It demands courage, not physical courage, but existential courage. The courage to drop the crowd psychologically, the courage to not belong inwardly. You may live in society, you may follow laws, you may participate fully, but inwardly you remain unattached. This inner detachment is not coldness, it is clarity. Without it, your opinions are not yours. Your values are not yours. Even your questions are not yours. They are inherited. A borrowed question leads to borrowed answers. When belief drops, real questioning begins. Not the questioning that seeks reassurance, but the questioning that is ready to be transformed. This questioning does not demand answers, it invites insight. And insight does not come from effort, it comes from openness. This openness feels like vulnerability. You are no longer armored with belief, you are exposed. But exposure is not weakness, it is sensitivity. And sensitivity is intelligence. Only a sensitive being can respond appropriately to life. A hardened believer can only react. This is why belief creates violence. Not necessarily physical violence, but psychological rigidity. A rigid mind cannot bend, and what cannot bend eventually breaks. Awareness is flexible. It flows around obstacles. It adapts without losing itself. This adaptability is not compromise, it is intelligence responding to reality. Now, understand something subtle. Freedom from belief does not mean you will never make mistakes. You will. But those mistakes will be alive. They will teach. Belief-based mistakes repeat. They do not teach, they reinforce. A person without belief may fall, but they learn from falling. A person with belief never falls. They simply keep walking in the wrong direction confidently. Confidence is not proof of truth. Humility is closer. Humility is not self-deprecation, it is accuracy. To know what you know and to know what you do not know. Belief pretends to know everything. Awareness admits mystery. And mystery is not a problem. Mystery is the source. When belief drops, life regains its freshness. Even ordinary things become alive. Walking, eating, listening, they are no longer mechanical. Because there is no conclusion blocking perception. A mind without belief is not empty in a dull way, it is empty in a vibrant way, like a clear sky. Clouds come and go, but the sky remains untouched. Thoughts come and go, feelings come and go, but you are no longer identified. Identification is the real bondage. Belief is one form of identification. There are others. Identification with the body, with emotions, with roles. We will encounter them later. For now, understand this. Standing without belief is the beginning of meditation. If you sit silently with beliefs intact, you are only suppressing noise. If belief drops, silence arises on its own. Silence is not created, it is uncovered. Belief covers silence. That is why techniques alone do not work. They may calm the surface, but underneath, the structure remains. We are dismantling the structure first, slowly, patiently. So when silence comes, it is not fragile.
it is rooted. Before we move to inner centers, before we speak of fear, energy, depth, this clarity is necessary. Otherwise, inner experiences become decorations. Ego collects them, and ego with spiritual experiences is more dangerous than ego without them. So pause here, not to think, but to feel. Feel what it is like to not lean on any idea, just for a moment. No belief, no disbelief, just presence. This presence is not dramatic, it is simple. And simplicity is the doorway.
Sit in a way that the spine is naturally upright. No stiffness, no effort. Let the body be at ease. Most people believe fear is in the mind. This is the first mistake. Thoughts may explain fear, justify fear, give stories to fear, but fear itself is not born in thought. Fear is older than thinking. Fear belongs to the body. Before language existed, fear existed. Before philosophy, before religion, before society, fear was already there. Because fear is tied to survival. The mind is a later development. The body is ancient. That is why fear does not listen to logic. You can tell yourself there is nothing to fear, and still the body trembles. You can intellectually understand that a situation is safe, yet the breath becomes shallow, the stomach tightens, the chest contracts. This is because fear does not arise where words arise. Fear arises deeper. If you want to understand fear, do not argue with it, observe it. And observation begins with location. Close your eyes for a moment, not to imagine, but to feel. Bring your attention down from the head. The head is noisy, the head is full of commentary. Let attention move downward, past the throat, past the chest, into the belly. You may notice something immediately, or you may not. Both are fine. Fear is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is a constant low tension that you have lived with so long you think it is normal, but it is not. This tension sits around the navel, not exactly on the surface, not deep inside, somewhere in between. This center is ancient. In animals, this is the primary center of alertness. When danger approaches, this area contracts. Watch a cat before it jumps. Watch a deer sensing danger. The belly tightens first. The mind reacts later. Human beings have this same center, but because we live in the head, we are disconnected from it. So fear continues to operate unconsciously. You think you are making choices, but often fear is deciding. Fear chooses safety over truth. Fear chooses familiarity over freedom. Fear chooses comfort over growth. And then the mind creates explanations. I'm being practical. I'm being realistic. I'm just cautious. These are polite names for fear. Fear is not wrong, but unconscious fear is destructive. Fear that is seen becomes intelligence. Fear that is hidden becomes bondage. So we do not fight fear, we invite it into awareness. Bring attention again to the belly, not forcefully, gently, as if you were placing a warm hand there from the inside. You may feel tightness, heaviness, subtle vibration, restlessness, or nothing at first. Nothing is also something. It may simply mean numbness, which is frozen fear. Fear has many expressions. Sometimes it trembles, sometimes it freezes. Both are fear. Stay with the sensation. Do not name it. Do not judge it. Just feel.
The mind will try to escape upward. It will bring thoughts. It will comment. Let it. Do not follow. Return again and again to the sensation. This returning is meditation. Notice something important. The moment attention rests in the belly, breathing begins to change. The breath naturally deepens. This is not something you do, it happens. Fear and shallow breathing go together. Awareness and deep breathing go together. Now, a subtle paradox. Fear wants attention, but not awareness. It wants you to react, not to see. The moment you look at fear directly, without resistance, fear begins to change. Not immediately, not magically, but unmistakably. Because fear survives on unconsciousness, just as darkness survives on absence of light. You don't need to push darkness away. You don't need to fight it. You bring light. Light is enough. Awareness is that light. This center near the navel is also the center of power. That is why fear lives here. Power and fear are two sides of the same coin. When this center is unconscious, it becomes fear. When it is conscious, it becomes strength. Not aggressive strength, grounded strength. The strength to stand, the strength to say no, the strength to be alone. Most people seek strength in the mind. They repeat affirmations. They build confidence stories. But strength is not a story. Strength is a rooted feeling in the body, and that root is here. When this center is asleep, you feel insecure even when everything is fine. When it awakens, you feel steady even in chaos. This is why some people remain calm in crisis and others panic without reason. It is not personality, it is awareness. Now understand something subtle. Society teaches you to suppress this center. From childhood, you are told, don't shake, don't show fear, be brave, be strong. So fear is pushed down. But pushed down does not disappear. It becomes chronic tension. That tension becomes anxiety. Anxiety becomes lifestyle. And then people wonder why they cannot relax. Relaxation is impossible when fear is stored in the belly. So again, we are not trying to get rid of fear. We are making space for it. Let it be seen. Let it be felt. If trembling comes, let it come. If heat comes, let it come. If discomfort arises, let it arise. You are safe. Observation is safety. Nothing harmful can happen through awareness. The body knows how to release, but only when the mind stops interfering. Stay here. We are not moving yet. This is the doorway.
Remain attentive to the belly. Even as you listen, keep a thread of awareness there. Fear rarely shouts. That is why it is powerful. If fear screamed all the time, you would notice it, and noticing would weaken it. Instead, this is risky. Let's wait a little more. Be sensible. And because these words sound reasonable, fear passes unnoticed. But watch carefully. Each time you postpone something deeply alive, fear is present. Each time you choose security over truth, fear is present. Each time you silence your own voice to maintain approval, fear is present. And where does it appear first? Not in thought. Thought only explains it afterward. Fear appears as a contraction here, in the belly, a subtle tightening, a pulling inward. This contraction is the body preparing to protect itself. Protection is not wrong, but when protection becomes habitual, life becomes small. A protected life is a reduced life. Fear does not destroy life suddenly, it shrinks it slowly. That is why many people feel they are surviving, not living. They are safe, but not fulfilled. Comfortable, but not alive. This is fear working efficiently. Fear prefers predictability. Anything new threatens it. Truth is always new. That is why fear resists truth. Truth destabilizes identity. Fear wants stability. So fear will support any belief, any ideology, any routine, as long as it keeps things familiar. Even suffering can become familiar. That is why people stay in unhappy jobs, toxic relationships, meaningless routines. Not because they like them, but because they know them. The unknown frightens the belly. Now observe something important. When fear is present, breathing becomes shallow. This is not accidental. Shallow breath keeps energy in the upper body, in the chest and head. This allows thinking to dominate, and thinking gives fear excuses. Deep breath brings energy down into the belly, and fear cannot survive awareness there. That is why unconscious fear resists deep breathing. People say they cannot breathe deeply. It is not inability, it is avoidance. The body knows how to breathe. Fear does not want you to go there. Now, let the breath come down naturally. Do not force, just allow. You may feel resistance. That resistance is fear. Stay. Fear survives by movement, by distraction, by escape. If you stay, fear begins to reveal its structure, and once structure is seen, it loses authority. Fear is not one thing, it is layers. At the surface, social fear, fear of rejection, fear of judgment. Deeper, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. Deeper still, fear of losing control. And at the deepest level, fear of dissolution, fear of death. Not physical death alone, but psychological death. The death of identity, the fear of disappearing as someone. This is why fear lives in the belly. This center is connected to survival. Survival of the body and survival of the ego. The ego uses the same center. That is why ego and fear are intertwined. If you try to destroy the ego intellectually, fear will intensify. If you try to become fearless through ideas, fear will hide deeper. But if you bring awareness into the belly, fear transforms. It does not vanish instantly. It melts. And as it melts, something else appears. A grounded presence. Not excitement, not confidence. Groundedness. A feeling of being okay without reason. This is rare. Most people feel okay only if something happens. If I succeed, if I am loved, if I am safe. This is conditional peace. But when fear loosens in the belly, peace becomes unconditional. It is not caused, it is revealed. Now, understand a key point. Fear is future-oriented. It always imagines. It imagines loss, failure, embarrassment, death. But fear never exists in the present moment. In this moment, right now, as you listen, there is no threat. The body is safe, yet fear may still be present. This shows that fear is not reality-based, it is memory-based. Past experiences stored in the body. The body remembers danger even when danger is gone. This memory sits here, and until it is felt consciously, it keeps reacting. This is why awareness must be bodily, not only mental. Talking about fear does nothing. Feeling fear transforms it. This is uncomfortable at first because you are meeting something you have avoided your whole life. But avoidance has a cost. The cost is unconscious living. Now, something subtle happens when awareness deepens here. The belly begins to soften. Not fully, not permanently, but moments of softness appear. In those moments, you may feel warmth, or a gentle vibration, or a sense of expansion. This is energy beginning to move. Fear freezes energy. Awareness releases it. This energy is not emotional, it is existential. It is the same energy that gives animals presence. Have you noticed? Animals do not suffer anxiety about the future. They respond when danger is present and relax when danger is gone. They live through this center consciously. Humans lost this connection because of excessive thinking. We will not eliminate thinking. We will reconnect the body. Only then thinking becomes a servant, not a master. So for now, do not try to change fear. Just keep noticing how it contracts, how it pulls energy upward, how it influences decisions, how it hides behind logic. And notice something else. The more you watch, the less personal fear feels. It becomes a process, not my problem. This distance is enormous. Fear feeds on identification. I am afraid. Awareness says, fear is happening. This small shift is enormous. The moment fear is seen as an event, not an identity, freedom begins. We will go deeper. Next, we will see how this same center becomes courage, vitality, and rootedness when fear is fully met. Remain with the belly. Let awareness stay anchored there like a quiet weight. Something important must be understood now. Fear is not opposite to courage. Fear is undeveloped courage. They arise from the same source. This is why people who suppress fear also suppress vitality. They appear calm on the surface, but inwardly they are dull. And people who are highly energetic but unconscious often swing between fear and aggression. Both are imbalances of the same center. The center near the navel is the source of life force. When it is blocked, energy becomes fear. When it is released, energy becomes strength. Not violent strength, not dominating strength, but a quiet solidity. You may have met such people. They do not speak much. They do not assert themselves unnecessarily, yet their presence fills the room. This is not charisma, it is rootedness. Rootedness comes when fear has been seen, not avoided, not conquered, but understood. Now notice something subtle. As you stay with fear, without running away, without trying to change it, fear begins to lose its sharp edges. It may still be there, but it is less threatening. This is because fear depends on resistance. Resistance says, this should not be happening. Awareness says, this is happening. The moment you say, this should not be, you create conflict. Conflict multiplies fear. When you allow fear to be exactly as it is, without interpretation, fear relaxes. It has been heard. Much of fear is simply unacknowledged energy. Like a child pulling your clothes, wanting attention. Ignored, the child screams. Seen, the child settles. Fear is similar. It does not want solutions, it wants presence. Now, as presence deepens, you may feel something new. A sense of weight in the lower body, a sense of gravity. This is grounding. Most people are top-heavy. Energy stuck in the head creates anxiety. Energy moving downward creates stability. That is why trees with deep roots stand in storms, and humans without roots collapse under small pressures. This center is your root.
but roots grow only in darkness. You cannot grow roots in the light of thinking. You grow roots by descending into sensation, by staying with discomfort, by not escaping. This is why meditation is not relaxation at first. It is confrontation, a gentle confrontation, not with thoughts, but with stored survival energy. Now understand this clearly. Fear is not personal. It is collective. Your body carries ancient memories: hunger, threat, attack. Civilization is recent. The nervous system is old. So when fear arises, do not take it as my weakness. It is biological wisdom waiting to be integrated. When integrated, the same energy becomes alertness. Alertness is not fear. Alertness is presence without panic. Fear anticipates. Alertness responds. This transformation happens here, not in thought. Now, something very important. As fear dissolves into alertness, a new quality appears: trust. Not belief-based trust, not trust in ideas, trust in life itself. This trust is not naive. It does not deny danger, but it does not exaggerate it either. It knows that life moves, changes, flows, and you are part of that movement. This trust cannot be taught. It emerges when fear loosens its grip. This is why no amount of positive thinking creates real courage. Courage is bodily. Now notice again, as awareness stays here, breathing becomes deeper. You may feel breath touching places it has not touched before. This is energy redistributing. Allow it. If sensations increase, do not get excited. Excitement pulls energy back upward. Stay neutral, just present. Now understand a paradox. As more you try to be fearless, the more fear controls you. The moment you stop trying, fear loses interest. Fear feeds on effort. Effort says, I must change this. Awareness says, let me see this. Seeing transforms without effort. This is not laziness, it is intelligence. Now something else begins to happen. As fear loosens, your relationship with action changes. You act, but without inner tension. You speak, but without rehearsal. You say no without guilt. You say yes without compulsion. This is freedom. Not dramatic freedom, functional freedom. Life becomes simpler. Choices become clearer. Not because you have answers, but because fear is no longer distorting perception. Fear always exaggerates. Without fear, you see proportions. This matters. This does not. This can wait. This cannot. Such clarity is rare. Now, we must be careful. This center can give power, and power can intoxicate. That is why awareness must remain gentle. If power comes without awareness, it becomes aggression. But if power comes through awareness, it becomes compassion. Compassion is strength without domination. A compassionate person is not weak. They are strong enough not to defend themselves unnecessarily. Now stay here a little longer. Do not move away yet. This is the turning point. Fear has been seen. Energy is beginning to shift. In the next part, we will see how this center connects upward, how fear, when transformed, becomes the bridge to higher awareness. But that bridge must not be rushed. For now, just remain. Feel the belly. Feel the weight. Feel the groundedness. Nothing to achieve, nothing to become, just here.
Stay with the navel. Do not sharpen attention. Let it be wide, warm, unforced, like resting your hand on still water. Now understand this quietly. Fear never really wanted to disappear. It wanted to be understood. The moment understanding happens, fear does not fight. It retires. Not because you defeated it, but because its job is complete. Fear's original function is to bring awareness to life. When awareness arrives, fear has nothing more to do. This is why fear melts only in presence, never in analysis. Now notice the quality of awareness. It is no longer scanning for danger. It is simply here. This here-ness is stability. Stability is not rigidity. It is availability. A stable person is available to reality. They do not collapse under pressure, and they do not harden against it. This center, when settled, becomes an inner anchor. Life may shake, but something remains unmoved. This unmoved quality is not numbness, it is centeredness. Now something subtle but important. As this center stabilizes, you may notice fewer inner dialogues. Fear always talks. It predicts, warns, imagines. When fear dissolves, silence naturally increases. Not forced silence, organic silence. Silence that feels alive. This silence is not empty, it is full of readiness. This is why ancient warriors were also meditators, not because they loved violence, but because clarity is born here, clarity that does not hesitate unnecessarily. Now understand another paradox. When fear is gone, recklessness does not appear. Sensitivity increases. You become more aware of consequences, not less. Fear is blind urgency. Awareness is intelligent timing. This difference matters. Now remain aware of posture. Let the spine be relaxed, not held. Fear tightens the spine. Groundedness allows it to align naturally. You may feel a gentle downward pull. This is gravity reclaiming its role. Modern humans resist gravity, always lifting, striving, reaching. But growth happens when you allow descent. Roots go downward. Only then can branches rise. This is why we are spending time here. Skipping this center creates unstable spirituality. People who meditate without grounding often feel light but fragmented. They escape fear instead of transforming it. Escape creates imbalance. Transformation creates wholeness. Now feel again. The belly is no longer tight, or if it is, the tightness is transparent. You are not fighting it. This is important. The body trusts you when you stop forcing it. Trust builds slowly, but once built, it is deep. Now a shift happens in daily life. You may notice less urgency, fewer impulsive reactions, more patience with uncertainty. Not because you are trying to be calm, but because fear is no longer pushing. This center governs survival responses. When it settles, life no longer feels like a constant emergency. Even real problems are approached without panic. This is real maturity, not intellectual maturity, existential maturity. Now something even more subtle. As this center becomes a home, you stop looking for safety outside. People often confuse attachment with safety. They cling to routines, relationships, beliefs, not because they love them, but because they fear instability. When the center is grounded, attachments loosen naturally. You can still love, but you do not cling.
You can still plan, but you do not depend. This creates inner freedom. Freedom that does not isolate. Freedom that connects. Now we must mark a boundary. This center is not meant to dominate life. If awareness stays only here, one becomes strong but limited, grounded but not expanded. This is why the journey continues upward. But upward movement must come from stability, not escape. Otherwise, higher centers become fantasies. So before moving on, we seal this center, not with words, but with acknowledgement. Silently recognize, this is my ground. No affirmation, no mantra, just recognition. Let the body feel it. This recognition acts like a seal. Now rest here for a few breaths. Nothing to do, nothing to improve. Just inhabit the body fully. This is rare. Most people live around their body, not inside it. Now you are inside. When you are ready, awareness will naturally rise, not because you push it, but because energy seeks balance. In the next movement, we move from survival to connection, from fear's resolution to the heart's awakening. But that movement only works because this one is complete. Stay for a few moments longer. Let groundedness become familiar. Let it become home.
First, do not leave the navel abruptly. Let awareness rise on its own, like warmth moving upward, not like attention jumping. Feel the space between the navel and the chest. There may be a sense of emptiness here. This is normal. Many people bypass this area completely in life. Fear kept awareness below. Thought kept awareness above. The middle was neglected. Now awareness arrives here for the first time. Let it. No expectations. Now, gently place attention at the center of the chest. Not the physical heart, not the breath, the space behind the breastbone. If you feel nothing, good. If you feel heaviness, also good. If you feel warmth, tightness, vibration, all acceptable. Do not try to name it. Naming belongs to the mind. This is not a mental center. Understand this quietly. The heart center is not emotionality. Emotions fluctuate. This center radiates. Emotions are reactions. The heart is response. This distinction is essential. Many confuse sentimentality with heartfulness. Sentimentality is weakness. Heartfulness is strength without armor. Now, notice something subtle. Fear pulled energy downward. Thought pulled energy upward. The heart is where energy rests. When energy rests here, life feels meaningful without explanation. You do not need a reason to care. You do not need justification to feel connected. This is why meaning cannot be manufactured. It emerges when this center awakens. Now, stay with the chest gently. Do not expand it deliberately. Let expansion happen on its own. If the chest feels tight, do not push. Tightness is memory. Every heartbreak, every loss, every disappointment leaves an imprint here. This center remembers everything. Respect that. Awareness is not a bulldozer, it is sunlight. Sunlight does not argue with darkness, it simply stays. As awareness remains, you may feel subtle movements, a soft ache, a quiet warmth, a spreading sensation, or nothing at all. All are signs of honesty. Do not chase sensation. Chasing turns meditation into desire. Here we are undoing desire. Now understand a crucial point. This center does not open upward until it opens outward. Meaning, the heart awakens through relationship, but not dependency. Connection, not attachment. When this center is asleep, we cling. When it awakens, we share. Clinging is fear-based, sharing is abundance-based. Notice how different this feels from the navel center. The navel stabilized you. The heart softens you. Softness here does not mean vulnerability to harm. It means vulnerability to truth. Truth requires openness. Defense blocks clarity. This is why intelligent people often struggle here. They understand too much, but feel too little. Understanding without heart becomes dry. Heart without understanding becomes blind. This center bridges the two. Now, something important. Do not recall people deliberately. If images arise, fine. If memories surface, allow them. Do not suppress, but do not indulge. This is not therapy through memory. This is awareness dissolving residue. When attention remains neutral, memories lose emotional charge. They pass like clouds. This is healing without analysis. Now stay. Breath continues naturally. You may notice breath subtly deepening. Do not control it. The heart has its own rhythm. Control disturbs it. Trust restores it. Now recognize a shift. You may feel a slight expansion behind the chest or a sense of softness spreading outward. This is not love yet. Love requires two. This is lovingness, a quality, not an action, a state, not a relationship. This is why love becomes problematic when it is sought before this center awakens. People try to extract love from others instead of radiating it. Extraction creates suffering. Radiation creates connection. Now remain aware. If tears come, let them. If nothing comes, let that be too. The heart opens differently for each person. Comparison destroys authenticity. Stay real. One more subtle instruction. Do not try to be good. Goodness forced is false. When this center awakens, compassion appears naturally. You will not need moral effort. Morality imposed from the outside creates hypocrisy. Morality arising from the heart creates integrity. This is why transformation is inward. Now we rest here, not to achieve anything, but to allow. Allow the heart to recognize itself. This recognition may be quiet. Do not expect fireworks. Fireworks belong to the ego. The heart works silently. Stay for a few breaths. Feel grounded below. Feel open in the middle. This alignment is rare. This is why many seek meaning but never find it. They skip this center. Remain aware of the chest center. Not forcing attention, not relaxing deliberately, just remaining. Now notice something subtle that often appears here, a desire to feel something special. This desire is the last obstacle. It is very refined, very spiritual looking, but it is still desire. If you wait for bliss, you postpone truth. Truth is always simple. Understand this clearly. The heart does not open through pleasure. It opens through honesty. If you feel dull, be honest. If you feel empty, be honest. If you feel tenderness, be honest. Do not decorate the experience. Decoration belongs to imagination. This center responds only to sincerity. Now observe. When attention stays at the heart, thoughts may slow down automatically, not because you stopped them, but because this center is pre-verbal. Thoughts arise from higher centers. The heart understands without language. That is why love cannot be explained, but is immediately recognized. You may begin to feel a gentle pull outward, as if awareness wants to expand beyond the body. Do not push it. Expansion happens when resistance dissolves. Let awareness stay centered and allow expansion to happen on its own. This is how maturity grows, organically, not forcefully. Now, something very important. This center has been wounded in almost everyone, not because people were cruel, but because they were unconscious. Unconscious people cannot love cleanly. They mix love with fear, attachment, expectation, control. These mixtures leave scars here. When awareness touches these scars, there may be a slight ache. Do not retreat. Pain here is not danger, it is release. If you move away from discomfort, the heart closes again. If you stay present, the knot loosens. Awareness unties what effort cannot. Now listen carefully. Love is not a relationship. Relationship is an expression of love. When love is absent inside, relationships become bargaining systems. When love is present, relationships become sharing fields. This center must awaken before healthy relationship is possible. Otherwise, people meet each other only to fill emptiness. Two emptinesses cannot fulfill each other. They can only distract each other. Stay with the chest. You may feel warmth spreading sideways toward the shoulders, or a sensation like soft pressure. This is not emotional excitement. It is energetic coherence. The system is reorganizing itself. Let it. Now understand another subtle point. The heart does not ask, "Am I loved?" The ego asks that. The heart asks, "Can I give?" This shift is revolutionary. The moment giving becomes natural, fear of loss disappears. Fear exists only when something is missing. When abundance flows, fear has no ground. If someone appears in your awareness, a face, a memory, do not analyze. Just notice what happens in the chest. If contraction occurs, that relationship was based on fear. If softness remains, that relationship was based on truth. This observation alone brings immense clarity to life. Now remain silent inside. Even if thoughts arise, do not follow them. The heart does not argue, it listens, and listening is healing. Notice how different this stillness is from the stillness of the mind. Mental stillness is brittle. Heart stillness is alive. It breathes, it pulses, it includes. You may notice a gentle gratitude arising, not directed at anyone. This is important. Directed gratitude is social. Undirected gratitude is existential. It means it is good to be here. This is the signature of the heart center. Now one warning, very subtle. Do not turn this into goodness. Goodness can become ego. The heart is not good or bad. It is true. Truth does not need labels. Truth does not perform. Truth simply is. Stay here a little longer. Let awareness soak. This soaking changes character without effort. People think transformation requires struggle. Struggle belongs to the ego. Transformation belongs to attention. You may feel now a sense of being held, as if existence is supporting you. This is not imagination. This is alignment. When centers align, life feels supportive. When they are fragmented, life feels hostile. The world does not change. Your alignment does. Rest. Do nothing. Let the heart breathe. Remain at the heart center. Not concentrating, not visualizing, just being aware of the chest area. Now understand something crucial. This is where many seekers unknowingly fail. Love collapses when it is asked to rise before it is rooted. Most people try to move upward too quickly. They want compassion without stability. They want universality without intimacy. They want transcendence without embodiment. This creates imbalance. The heart must first become grounded before it can expand upward. Otherwise, love becomes sentimental, unstable, and exhausting. Observe this carefully. When the heart opens prematurely, energy rushes upward. This feels beautiful at first, light, floating, ecstatic. But soon after, there is burnout, mood swings, disillusionment, withdrawal. This is not failure, it is imbalance. So now we do something very subtle. While remaining aware of the heart, also sense weight. Feel the body's contact with gravity. The heart must feel held by the body. Love that floats without roots cannot sustain life. Notice the breath, not the movement, the presence of breath. Let the inhalation feel like support. Let the exhalation feel like release. Nothing dramatic. This is how love learns to stay. Now listen carefully. The heart does not need to be opened. It needs to be trusted. Opening is force. Trust is permission. If you trust this center, it reveals itself naturally. Many spiritual paths unknowingly bypass the heart. They jump from mind to silence. This creates clarity without warmth, sharpness without compassion. Such people may speak truth, but cannot hold pain, their own or others. This is called spiritual bypassing. We are not doing that here. Stay present. If emotions arise, joy, sadness, nostalgia, do not suppress and do not indulge. Let them pass through the heart without commentary. The heart is a passage, not a storage room. You may feel waves, not continuous, but rhythmic. This rhythm is important. It means the system is finding balance between giving and receiving. Love collapses when it only gives. Love suffocates when it only receives. The heart knows balance instinctively. Now understand this deeply. The heart is not personal. It feels personal only filtered through memory. Pure heart energy has no owner. That is why true love does not say mine, it says present. If fear arises now, fear of loss, fear of vulnerability, do not fight it. Fear is the guardian of old wounds. Thank it silently. Fear relaxes when it is not attacked. Remain still. Let the chest soften, not dramatically, naturally. Softness is not weakness. Softness is resilience. Hard things break. Soft things adapt. Now something very subtle may occur. A sense of quiet joy without excitement. No fireworks, no story. Just a mild, steady okayness. This is a sign of maturity. Immature joy shouts. Mature joy hums. Do not cling to this. Clinging tightens the chest. Let even joy come and go. The heart is not an experience, it is a capacity. Notice how silence here feels different from mental silence. It includes emotion without turbulence. It includes thought without entanglement. This is integration. Now rest here. Nothing more is needed. No improvement, no achievement. Just remain. Let awareness rise gently from the heart to the hollow at the base of the throat. Do not imagine light. Do not chant. Do not control breath. Just notice this space. Most people are tense here without knowing it. This center holds all the unsaid truths. Remain still. If you swallow, notice it. If you feel dryness, notice it. If there is tightness, notice it. No correction. This center does not open through doing. It opens through non-resistance. Understand this first. The throat is not about speaking. It is about not lying to others and, more importantly, to yourself. Whenever truth is suppressed, this center contracts. Whenever expression is forced, this center hardens. We are allowing it to relax. Notice how breath naturally touches the throat. Not deep breathing, ordinary breathing. Let the breath pass like wind through a hollow flute. No sound is required. Now listen carefully. If the heart is unbalanced, the throat becomes manipulative. If the mind dominates, the throat becomes argumentative. But when heart and mind are aligned, the throat becomes transparent. Words pass through without distortion. You may feel an urge to clear the throat. Do not stop it and do not exaggerate it. Allow. Small physical reactions are signs of release. Observe silence here. This silence is different again. It feels alert, not passive. This is the silence from which truth naturally arises. Not rehearsed, not calculated. Now something subtle happens. You may feel like speaking, but there is nothing to say. Or you may feel like remaining silent without suppression. This neutrality is important. It means expression is no longer compulsive. Most people speak to fill inner noise. Some remain silent to hide fear. Both are reactions. Here, neither is needed. Stay aware. If memories arise of arguments, confessions, withheld words, do not revisit them. Just recognize the energy of withholding. Let it loosen. The throat relaxes when there is no audience inside the mind. Notice if you are imagining listeners. Drop them. Truth does not perform. Now feel the vertical alignment. Belly grounded, heart stable, throat open. This alignment creates integrity. Integrity means nothing inside is split. You may feel a slight vibration or warmth in the neck, or nothing at all. Both are fine. Sensitivity varies. Depth does not. Understand this deeply. When this center is clear, you no longer need to convince. You simply state, and even silence becomes meaningful. Rest here. Let awareness remain. No improvement required. Remain aware of the throat. Nothing to add, nothing to remove, just stay. Now notice something subtle. Thoughts slow down here, not because they are suppressed, but because they no longer need translation. This center dissolves the gap between what is felt and what is said. Most suffering in human life comes from this gap. You feel one thing, you say another. Or you feel nothing and still you speak. Both disturb the inner harmony. Observe this without judgment. Do not attempt to correct your past. The throat does not heal through regret. It heals through presence. Let the breath remain ordinary. No rhythm, no count. The throat responds to authenticity, not technique. Now sense downward. Feel the belly again, stable. Feel the heart, open. Notice how the throat rests between them. This is not accidental. Truth is born when grounding and love cooperate. Many people mistake honesty for harshness. Harshness comes from the belly alone. Many mistake kindness for silence. Silence born of fear is not kindness. Here, honesty and compassion begin to coexist. Stay alert. You may feel heat or a mild pressure around the vocal cords. This is not pathology. It is stored expression loosening its grip. Let any spontaneous sigh happen. Sighing is nature's reset. Understand this carefully. When this center is blocked, words are weapons or decorations. When it opens, words become bridges. Sometimes the bridge is speech. Sometimes the bridge is silence. Both connect. Now watch the mind. It may attempt to narrate this experience. Let it fail. Narration freezes flow. Experience must remain wordless. If a thought arises saying, "I am doing well," or "this should be stronger," smile inwardly and let it pass. Measurement kills depth. You are not opening the throat. You are removing interference. This distinction is vital. Remain. Let awareness stay effortless. A sign of balance here. You feel no urge to explain yourself, no urge to hide yourself. This neutrality is freedom. Rest again. Let the silence deepen. Stay with the throat, not concentrating, abiding. Now understand something essential. Truth does not require courage when fear is absent. Courage is needed only where falseness has been practiced too long. Most people think they are afraid of speaking truth. They are not. They are afraid of losing identity, because much of what is spoken is not truth, but self-protection. Here, in this center, identity loosens its grip. You may feel a quiet neutrality toward being right. This is not weakness. This is maturity. Notice carefully. When truth is present, there is no urgency. Urgency belongs to fear. Truth arrives slowly, like breath. Let the jaw remain unclenched. Many carry old arguments here, unfought battles, unspoken protests. Let them dissolve. You do not need to remember what was never said. The body remembers for you and releases when ready. Feel how silence now has texture. It is not empty, it is intelligent. This intelligence knows when to speak and when not to. Observe one subtle shift. Listening becomes deeper than speaking, not because speech is wrong, but because listening is vast. Here lies a paradox. Only those who can remain silent can speak truthfully. Everyone else speaks to fill space. Stay. You may feel a gentle widening behind the throat toward the ears. This is receptivity awakening. Truth is never one-directional. Now understand. Expression is not performance. Expression is alignment. When inner and outer agree, speech becomes effortless. Do not rehearse future conversations. The future does not need preparation. It needs presence. If an image arises of past moments where you lied, exaggerated, or withheld, do not condemn. That energy is leaving now. Condemnation would pull it back. Let the breath remain natural. A balanced throat center creates this quality. You can say no without aggression. You can say yes without self-betrayal. Notice how calm this feels. No drama, no spiritual fireworks. Truth is quiet. Rest here a few breaths longer. Let awareness rise from the throat to the space between the eyebrows. No effort, no force. Just allow attention to rest there as lightly as a feather. This center does not respond to pressure. It opens only to clarity. Do not stare inward. Soft attention, as if you are listening with the eyes closed. Many try to see here. Seeing is secondary. First comes stillness. Notice, thoughts begin to lose momentum, not because you stopped them, but because they no longer find fuel. This center feeds on silence. If images arise, colors, light, movement, do not chase them. Chasing collapses depth. Witnessing deepens it. You may feel a gentle pressure, a coolness, a pulsation, or nothing at all. All are correct. Experience is individual. Awareness is universal. Now understand something subtle. This center is not imagination. It is perception without distortion. Imagination adds. This subtracts. Stay present. Notice how the sense of I begins to thin, not disappearing, loosening, like a knot being untied without force. If the mind tries to label this as spiritual or special, let that labeling fall away. The deepest experiences feel ordinary. Remain alert but relaxed. Drowsiness may try to enter. This is not meditation. If drowsy, gently straighten the spine. Alert relaxation. Here, a profound shift occurs. You stop thinking about life and start seeing life directly. No commentary, no judgment, just perception. Notice how the memory quiets. Past loses urgency. Future loses magnetism. Only now remains. This is not concentration. Concentration excludes. This includes everything. If a sense of spaciousness appears behind the forehead, do not fear it. That space is awareness recognizing itself. Let it expand naturally. No pushing. A key insight here. Truth is not something you reach. It is something that remains when illusion drops. Stay. You may feel a subtle joy without cause. This is clarity's fragrance. Remain with it. Keep awareness resting in the space between the eyebrows. Not fixed, not strained. As if awareness itself has paused here to breathe. Now notice something very delicate. Thoughts may still arise, but they no longer pull you. They pass like clouds through a vast sky. The sky does not argue with clouds. This is the first taste of non-attachment to thought. Not suppression, not control, just distance. Most human suffering comes not from thoughts, but from believing that every thought is personal. Here, that belief weakens. You may sense that awareness is no longer inside the head. It feels wider, almost as if the head floats inside awareness. This is correct. Do not analyze this. Analysis collapses direct seeing. If the forehead feels tense, soften the brow. Let the eyes rest deeply in their sockets. Vision here is inward but relaxed. A very subtle shift may occur. You stop asking questions. Not because answers arrived, but because questioning loses urgency. Notice, curiosity remains, restlessness does not. This is intelligence without anxiety. Now observe memory. Old images may surface, faces, places, moments. Do not follow them. They rise because they are losing relevance. Let them complete themselves and dissolve. If fear arises here, do not retreat. Fear appears only when identity senses thinning. Fear is the guard at the gate. Do not fight it. Let it watch you pass. Understand this quietly. You are not becoming empty. You are becoming transparent. Transparency frightens the ego because it survives on opacity. Stay. The breath may become very subtle. Do not interfere. Breath knows what to do. Now notice something profound. Awareness is aware of itself, without effort. This is not a thought. This is recognition. Here, effort ends. If a sense of light appears, do not cling. Light comes and goes. Clarity remains. Many traditions mistake light for realization. Light is a side effect. Seeing is the essence. Let awareness be bare. No imagery, no expectation. Notice the absence of commentary. Life without commentary is peace. Stay a few moments longer. Let awareness rise beyond the space between the eyebrows to the very crown of the head. Not as a point, as an opening. As if the top of the head is no longer a boundary, but a passage. Do not do anything. If you try to reach upward, you miss it. This center opens only when effort falls away completely. Simply allow the sense of me to soften. No pushing, no pulling, just loosening. You may notice something unusual. There is less sense of inside and outside. Awareness feels unconfined, almost as if the body is floating inside a vast field. This is natural. Do not become excited. Excitement contracts. Remain neutral. Here, language ends. So I will speak slowly. Thought may appear and disappear, but it no longer matters. Even silence does not matter. Only being remains. This is not an experience. Experiences come and go. This is the background in which all experiences happen. Notice, there is no center anymore. No head, no chest, no belly, only presence. If fear arises here, it is very subtle. Fear of disappearing. Let it be. What disappears was never real. You are not dying. You are ending unnecessary boundaries. Now, something very important. Do not try to hold this state. Holding is ego. Let it move. Let it flow. Let it come and go. Freedom is not permanence. Freedom is non-attachment. Rest. A deep peace may descend, not emotional, not dramatic, just vast. In this vastness, nothing is missing, nothing is extra. This is why silence feels sacred. Not because it is holy, but because it is complete. Stay. You may notice a gentle downward flow now, from the crown into the body. Let it happen. Awakening must return to the body, or it becomes imbalance. Feel the crown connected to the sky. Feel the feet connected to the earth. You are the bridge. Remain for a few breaths. Now, very gently, bring awareness back to the breath. Do not leave the space, just include the breath. Feel the body again. Weight, texture, warmth. There is no hurry. When ready, move fingers slightly, then toes. Eyes may remain closed or open softly. Remember this. You do not possess this state. You visit it, and it visits you. Meditation is not escape. Meditation is intimacy with reality. Sit for a moment without naming anything. This completes the inner journey, not as an ending, but as a return. Remain seated, eyes closed or softly open. Do not change posture. Notice something subtle now. You are here, and yet something has shifted. Not dramatic, not loud, quietly irreversible. This movement is about integration. Without it, meditation becomes escape. With it, meditation becomes life itself. First, feel the entire body at once, not part by part, as a single field. Weight on the floor, breath moving naturally, heartbeat steady. Do not concentrate, just include. Notice, thoughts may return. That is not failure, that is functionality. The difference is simple. Thoughts are present, but they are no longer masters. They are tools. This is the real transformation. Not silence forever, but freedom within noise. Now observe emotions. Whatever is present, peace, neutrality, slight restlessness, allow it. Do not correct. Spirituality that corrects emotions creates repression. Meditation that allows emotions creates intelligence. Now something very practical. Bring to mind a situation in your daily life that usually triggers you. Just one. Do not analyze, just notice. See how the body responds. Is there contraction? Yes, and that is okay.
Now watch the contraction without trying to dissolve it. Awareness alone begins the unwinding. This is the secret. You do not fix life, you see life. Seeing changes everything. Let go of the image. Return to the body. Notice how grounded you feel. Grounding is enlightenment's shadow. Without grounding, light becomes unstable. Now feel the feet again. Even sitting, feel the connection downward. Earth supports you. You do not need to float away. A deep insight settles here. Awakening is not above the world. Awakening is inside the world without being trapped by it. Now gently affirm, not as belief, but as recognition. I can act without losing awareness. Let that sink. This movement ends fear, because fear survives only when awareness is absent during action. You will still feel fear sometimes, but you will not be owned by it. This is maturity. Take a slow breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Once, again. Now allow the eyes to open fully if they are closed. Look around. See objects, colors, forms. Notice, nothing changed, and yet everything is different. This is meditation done rightly. Not special, not separate, integrated. Carry this into walking, speaking, earning, loving, creating. Remember, meditation is not something you do daily. It is something you return to many times a day, for a few seconds, again and again. This completes the inner journey, not as a peak, but as a path. Sit silently for a moment. No instructions now. When you move, move slowly. Let awareness walk first.